to the Napoleon Memoirs. We're here to do one thing, and that's obsess about Napoleon. I didn't obsess enough about Napoleon yesterday, so we're gonna have to make up for it. Obsess twice as hard tonight, obviously. So it's Friday. We somehow made it to another Friday. We never believe it, but here we are, another Friday, and I'm so excited. We're going to be throwing stones in public again. Summer in the Hamptons, some beautiful jewelry wrapped up meticulously in aluminum foil. Why in aluminum foil? Because it's difficult, it's a challenge. So beautiful when it's done well. I just am into aluminum. I love to work with aluminum. I got into it when I was a grease monkey, sulking in my garage for years, fixing cars, wondering where it all went wrong. Yeah. Anyway, so I was fixing up this old Mercedes and it had the most beautiful aluminum hood. And mechanics, please fix my car. I would love to see that car again. So I hope I get to see that car again. I treasure it. It's a beautiful 380 SL and I painted it rainbow. So you can see it on my Instagram. I love that car. It's so beautiful. I would love to drive it again. It's like perpetually broken now. Anyway, so we've got into the habit of placing the precious jewelry in front of live cams. I saw one in Sac Harbor and one in Southampton. And it was so fun for us to see like the story of how it was found. So that gives you an idea. I don't know where all the live cams are and I don't know where it will appear. But if you work around those live cams, this could be your big moment. So if you end up getting this bracelet, this is one of my most beautiful bracelets. It's a total sacrifice on my part. It's like a big, chunky, gorgeous rainbow bracelet. It's 11 millimeter stones. It's so beautiful. Anyway, I love this bracelet. I wore it for a while, so it's gonna be full of my intense vibes. And I loved this bracelet. I don't even know why I'm giving it away. I'm giving away my own personal jewelry. So why am I doing this? Good question. So whoever gets this, value it, sell it. Somebody, if you see someone has it, try to buy it. It's money. That bracelet is money. That's the point of it. And I will stand behind that beautiful bracelet. I will repair it. I will treat it like money. I'll give you digital money against it if you want to trade digital dancers. That's money. So I want people to see that I'm trying to issue currency. Why am I doing that? Well, I feel the person who's after me is the person who issues money, and I think he's the really powerful person in this world. And I think he spends a lot of that money that he just conjures up out of the air on publicists, so people won't see him and what he does. That's what I feel is going on, and I've been um, continually proving this every day of my life to make a point. And I feel that the person who ultimately murdered Napoleon was, I think, a direct relative of his. That is my belief. And since I don't have a ton of confidence in the court system, I do my trials here. I do my trials on my blog, and I hope people enjoy those trials because they are real trials. And when I make my case, I'm proving the truth. And when I prove the truth, it is my heart's desire that people will be that jury and be that enforcement. And I believe that that has happened. There are, I call them Tayans. It's pretty funny. Victor Strasky is one of our classic heroes. I hope he's real. Victor Strasky was a Mossad whistleblower, and we hope he's real. We hope he's not some trick. I really like him a lot. He's actually a painter, and he lives, if I'm not mistaken, in Arizona. And I admire him a lot. And I please be real, Victor Strasky. I'd be so happy if you were real. Because there's so many disinformation people out there. So I can't ever be 100% sure anyone's real. And I think that's a sad thing for me personally, because there's so much trickery. I have no confidence in anybody practically. That's the problem. But we learned so much from Victor Strasky. His wonderful book that we did enjoy, and we spent a lot of time putting it up on the blog. It's called By Way of Deception. Okay. He explained how everything in Mossad is scamming. Yeah. That they are scammers. And then everything to do with them is something with this guy that issues money. It all goes right back to that guy that issues money, whose predecessor, I believe, was behind the murder of Napoleon. See, I'm trying to like show you every single thing goes back to this. Everything. The scam organization. And believe me, Mossad is no stranger to my life at all. And I think they like to do it from Israel because I think they're framing Jewish people. That's what I think. So whenever they get their scammy pants on, they become very Jewish. That's what I was saying yesterday. Okay. Are they? No, I really don't think so. I think that they're dark occultists. And I think that they have created this whole just charged subject that people can't talk about. They can't think straight about it. And you start talking about this religion and everybody gets mental. And that's what they're hiding behind. They're dark occultists. And then when they're really being nasty, they like to do it through Israel. And then I think they're kind of framing Jewish people. And this has been bothering me a long time. I've been actually saying this since 2018, that I feel they're framing Jewish people. And I don't like that at all. And people need to understand that a lot of the religions are mind control. They're not real spirituality. Real spirituality is within. And I hope that I can encourage you to look within and hear those quiet voices that are helpful and are benevolent. It is not easy always to navigate the spirit realm, but that's where you're going to find out the truth. And the religions are mostly mind control, and they're to keep people fighting. But there is truth in them, of course. So we're going to get to Fractor, which is a old form of German. And I would like to repeat a million times over, it's very difficult to find German books about Napoleon that are credible in a regular font. But you can get a lot of disinformation books about Napoleon in regular font German. Okay, I at every point see that the truth about Napoleon is particularly being hidden from the German people. And I had a German disinformation agent who, like 9 to 5, was assigned to irritating me and trying to bait me into fights about Napoleon. So somehow I would look crazy and irrational. And, if you're out there, Josefa, Petra, I'm not against you at all. She does have a lot of knowledge. She does seem to have a genuine interest in history. I don't want to fight with any of these people. They come after me and I'm like, let's be friends. Let's actually be friends. Actually be friends. She likes history. She's from Germany. We should be friends. Why is she being sent after me? I think we should be friends. To be honest with you. But if you're bringing me problems, I'm gonna give you problems back. That's really the situation we're in. I would love to be friends with her because she seems smart. She actually seems like she's one of them. She's actually a little bit smart, but let's not overdo it. Anyway, I do want to get along, but I'm not gonna overdo it either. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing a lot to make sure that Germans don't know the truth about Napoleon. And I think German populism is something that really worries the person who I consider my personal enemy. I consider the enemy of Napoleon. I think this person is always very worried about populism, particularly in Germany. I don't think he's that thrilled about it in the United States either. And I think all of Europe can catch on fire in about a second, and he knows it. And I think we're already there, to be honest with you. And as we all know, I'm in the United States. And boy, you want to talk about vibrations and in tune? I'm always in tune with the German populists because there's just something about them that I just really connect to. I think they want to be free in Germany. That I feel that from them so powerfully, and we also. I'm gonna start crying. We want to be free, all of us. And I've always felt, oh my goodness, I'm rambling. I'm so connected to Europe because I have memories of Europe, and we have to join together. And we are the big threat to this dark occult money thing. You know, we're the big threat. Us people, all of us, all male, female, every background. We want to be free, and we all have that in common. Please do not let them argue about religion and any of these things. There's nothing to argue about. We want to get free. If somebody thinks something wrong and you think something right, it doesn't matter. We have to get free. Okay, we've all been lied to. We've all been fooled. Every single one of us is tricked about something right now. So it's not we've all been tricked relentlessly our entire lives. So we're all gonna inevitably be wrong. We're all gonna be wrong about things. So please, let's not fight. Let's get along. Let's unite. Let's really get serious and look within. Listen to your internal guidance and just do the hero's journey. It'll be good. It'll get better. I mean, we go through a lot, but it's good. It's a good thing. Please. We have to move on. We can't live like this anymore. Absolutely not. German. Here we go. Der Kaiser ließ mich morgens rufen. Ich traf ihn bei der Lektüre eines englischen Werks, das über die Kommentare unermessliche Horror, die unzählige Menge der den Gemeinden so lastfallenden Individuen handelte. Die Rechnungen beliefen sich auf Millionen von Menschen, von Millionen an Geld. Der Kaiser glaubte, falsch gelesen, falsch verstanden zu haben. Dies schien ihm nicht möglich, sagte er. Er begriff nicht durch welche Staatsgebrechen so viel Arme in einen so reichen, so industriösen und mit zur Arbeit so ausgestatteten Länder wie England sein konnten. Noch weniger begreiflich fand er durch welches Wunder die durch die furchtbaren ordentlichen und außerordentlichen Steuern überladenen Eigentümer noch den Bedürfnissen dieser Masse zur Hilfe kommen konnten. Wir haben aber bemerkt, nichts unter uns, das nur dem Huntesten oder selbst dem tausendsten Teil nach damit zu vergleichen wären. Haben Sie mir nicht gesagt, dass ich Sie einmal mit einem besonderen und Fragen betreffend des Zollwesens in die Departemente verschickt hätten? Nun, wie viel Wetter hatten denn wir? Was kostet sie? Wie viel Wetterhäuser hätte ich errichtet? Wie viele Leute wären darin aufbewahrt? Wie verhielt es sich mit der Hoffnung der Vertilgung des Wetters? Ich sah mich genötigt, auf die wenige dieser Fragen zu antworten, dass schon eine beträchtliche Zeit darüber verflossen wäre, dass seit einer Menge anderer Gegenstände meinen Geist lebhaft beschäftigt hätten und dass ich unmöglich aus dem Gedächtnis dieser Frage werde beantworten können. Übrigens hätte ich gerade diesen Bericht bei meinen Schriften und wird bei dem ersten Winke von seiner Seite bereit sein, ihn denselben vorzulegen. Nun, so bringen Sie mir ihn sogleich, sagte er, die Sache geht dahin, wenn man sie zur rechten Zeit anwendet. Und ich werde schnell die Durchlesung gewollt haben mit den Daumen wieder abgedreht. Scharf und ich sagte denn, die Wahrheit zu sagen, ich beschäftigte mich nicht gern mit solchen Dingen. Sie erinnern mich an das Sprüchwort von Senf nach dem Essen. I wish I could tell you. Wish something about the Abbé de Prat, this hypocritical priest. I wish I knew though. I really do. I'm not that good at German. Anyway, hope it'll get better. I do eventually learn the language if I keep at it. Alright, let's do English. At least I know that one. Okay, so we're gonna get back into the memoirs of Count Charles Tristan de Montesson. He wrote a lot of books from St. Helena. So you kind of get the idea that one of his motives was to make money off these books. I believe that. I believe Montesson was there for very much for financial reasons. So there are a lot of Montesson books, and this is the first time I'm reading one of them, and I have been avoiding them. I took a good look at his wife's memoirs in French until I became furious. She was slick. Wow, she was slick. She was like an evil genius. Oh, she was so slick. She was so smart. She's like scary smart. And she got away with it. I have said this before. I'm going to say it again. It's horrific, but very quickly she moves in and starts seducing Napoleon. Familiar? She starts seducing him very quickly, and she becomes his handler, and she is just his every dream. Okay? Albion. Okay, this is what Albion did. She moves right in on Napoleon. Oh, and surprise, some poison shows up in his hair around that time. That's exactly what happened. And then she's actually pregnant when they get there. I can tell you all the gossip. Yeah, so she actually has a baby very quickly when they arrive there. And then she has another baby, and this is like Napoleon's baby. So they know, have a child with him. Okay, they learned that from Marie Louise. This is how evil they are. Okay, and I'm serious, evil. Because as soon as that child got back to France, Albine said to her husband in the letters, she was taking everything I was feeding her. Now she's dead. It's online. She's letting him know she poisoned her child by saying, oh, and she was swallowing everything I was putting in her mouth. Why would she ever say that? And the baby died. So she's letting him know that she poisoned Napoleon's baby. Okay, so you need to understand, they will use children, they will use babies, they will kill anybody if it's with their agenda. Okay, so she's just had a baby with him to build trust. These people do everything to build trust. That's why people get fooled by them. They're like geniuses at getting you to trust them. So they understood once Napoleon has a baby with a woman, I mean, this is insane because we're all so profiled to them. And I don't know, the only reason they don't catch me as well as they catch other people is because I only listen to the voice of Napoleon. It's the only thing I listen to. So there's nothing they can do. There's no way they can influence me. I only have this one thing I listen to. But other people have motivations outside of the supernatural voice of Napoleon. I mean, it's like my only motivation in life is this one thing. So I really don't care about anything else. And then other people actually are interested in having children or having spouses or something, So, and then this group uses that against them. And Napoleon was he so wanted to be a father. So they used that against him. Just the wonderful thing about him. He was so paternal. He so wanted to have children, and then they had children with him, and then killed the children to build trust so they could destroy him. That is the history that I'm telling you and proving constantly. This is an evil, and I have provoked them, and they are after me. And now I'm under house arrest, and I'm being told that I can't leave, like really go anywhere or do anything unless I take the injection that most most definitely killed my mother. So I have to take an injection that killed my mother to go to take a plane or something, to do all these basic things now. I have to go, and I don't know, maybe lethal injection if I want to. So I'm under house arrest until they change that rule. Okay. Now you have to ask yourself, how much is that rule so they could trap me? And then they just uh they couldn't single me out, so they did everybody. I'm really wondering about this. Did they do it to everybody just so I wouldn't be special when they did it to me? That's scary because every time they get frustrated with me, they make their operations a million times bigger. They do it every single time. First, they give me the four guys calling each other pedophile, and then they try to get me involved with them and fighting. And I'm like, you know, no, thank you. And then the next time it'll be like 40 people. And the next time it'll be like 400 people. And the next time it'll be the whole world because they have that kind of money. And if I tell you, oh, they did this whole thing just so they could get away with putting me under house arrest, specifically me. But since it was going to look suspicious if they just put me under house arrest, they finagled a way to put everybody under house arrest. They wanted to do it anyway. See, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with super wealthy Bond villains. They have unlimited resources. They have all the time in the world. They don't have jobs. All they do is just sit around and think about fun ways to trap Tanster because they're so mad at me. And then they're like, oh, well, we could lock up the whole world. Ha ha ha! We're so powerful. You know, we're dealing with Bond villains. Could we do it? Sure. Anyway, so you have to understand you're dealing with like complete insane, super wealthy Bond villains who would literally lock up the whole world just so it wouldn't be so obvious when they put it under me under house arrest because they know that I'm very sympathetic. I'm very they want me to be like a terrorist shooter. They've tried to get me into the shooter thing a couple times. They want me to lead sieges. I mean, all the things they've tried to, to make me like scary. They've continually tried to get me into like Q and Trump, and then I'm sure that's terrible, So they're always trying to like put this like radical, dangerous thing on me. It's like, no, I'm just obsessed with Napoleon. There's nothing, there's nothing going on besides. It's unbelievable to live like this because he's like, I have put this up so many times, like Hamlet. Like I'm poor Hamlet. The father comes in, he says, remember me. I was murdered. Poor Hamlet, has to deal with this. I'm Hamlet. Anyway, but I have to do it. I'm Hamlet. I know. I like Hamlet, actually. I actually like Hamlet, but I never thought I'd become Hamlet, but I did. And, I'm going to say the weirdest thing of all. Prince does it to me, too. It's the funniest part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I want to say this. Kid, I'm not going to do another one. Okay, listen. I want to say this about Prince. I got to say a word about Prince. I'm going to close the computer. We got to talk about Prince now. Okay. I didn't appreciate Prince that much when he was alive. I have to admit that. But I certainly could see that he was a brilliant man, and I did respect him. I'm just not that into funk, That's the truth. I'm just not that into. I do like and I do respect Prince's music enormously, but it's not like my favorite. But he was incredible, and he was a great dancer, and I do really admire him anyway. So I was involved in this situation with Minnesota, of all places, and you can find out all about it. There was a guru who was a scammer. And of all places, he lived right by Prince. It's really wild. Anyway, I didn't know anything about Prince, but I was all mixed up with this Minnesota guy. And then Prince died. And you could see, they were almost like telling you it was a murder. They were like, oh, it's a murder, but not really. Like they like to let you know, oh, we can kill anybody and get away with it. I feel they were doing that with Prince's death at that time. I was like, oh, they're doing all these deaths that were clearly murders. And they're like, oh, but it's fentanyl. We could call it anything, and you guys are so stupid, and you'll just eat it up. And there's never any consequences for them. These people I'm always complaining about. To me, it's like the most obvious thing in the world. They killed Prince, but it almost like they were bragging about it, and they wanted, I feel, to scare the other musicians. I think that was intimidation on the other. I believe that now. I certainly thought it was intimidation on all of us at the time, but now I have a different perspective on how musicians are being controlled by these people that control basically anything you want or need. They control it because that's how they control you. And this is how they control musicians. And they use the musicians to control you. Okay, everything is to control the public. So when Prince died, and I felt it was a murder. I think they were bragging that it was a murder. This Minnesota guy came in and said all these ludicrous things about Prince, and it seemed wrong, but I was not in my best state at that time, and it all went very sour. And by 2017, I was letting people know that this person was a fraud, and that's when my whole run in with this money group started, because I believe, truly believe, that he is an agent of theirs in Minnesota. I truly believe this. And I was messing with one of their assets. That's my belief, truly. See? See how it all started? So, and I was being guided, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I do listen to Jesus, and he told me to do it. And he said, I'm just going to paraphrase it. He basically says he messes with my name. And there's a whole story. This is all over the internet. If you are interested, it's very interesting. But that's what I heard from him. He says he messes with my name. And that's the way he is to me. He's he has a very specific type of personality. He's tough. He's really tough. And I didn't want to do any of this at all. Not at all. And I was like, I don't want to do any of this. And he was like, you have to do it, And then when the agents started to come for me, they were so sure I was Christian. And I thought that was really interesting, because I don't ever portray myself at all that way. I feel like, I don't know. I'm talking about it now. So that's where that all came from, He messes with my name. Again, another Hamlet, He does. He really does. He really he trashes his name, this Minnesota guy. It's horrible. And I agreed with Jesus, I agreed with him that it was right. And around this time, I started to hear from Prince. And it was just like Hamlet again. He was mad at this guy because he was messing with his name. And there was a whole vilification process that they did to Prince, because they kill the person and then they vilify them, and then they do all kinds of terrible things. So you won't think well of the person they murdered. This is a regular pattern of how they kill people. And it's so interesting, So Prince was he was mad at this guy for trashing his name. So I was hearing the same. Can you believe that? I was hearing the same thing from both of them. So Prince is incredible. Anyway, my whole point is, I know it's so interesting and go on forever, but like, you probably could talk to Prince. He's incredible. I would, I mean? Like, if you're a fan of his, You don't want to talk to Jesus? You can talk to Prince. That's amazing. I think you can actually talk to him. And if you get to know him, it's so incredible, but it's my experience. If you get to know him as a person, you'll be glad you did. He is cool. And think about him. He's so quiet, but don't mess with him. I love that about him. He's just like, don't mess with him. Like, don't. He's so quiet, but he's gonna get them back. I'm telling you this. Forget about me. Forget about Napoleon. Forget about everybody. Prince is gonna get them. I'm telling you this. Okay? Help us, help him. He was murdered and vilified by these people. Napoleon was slowly murdered by them. He had I'm not going to say it again, but they tortured Napoleon to death in the cruelest way imaginable. And they took everyone that he cared about away from him. And they murdered his children. Okay, just to show you what they did to Napoleon. And I'm under permanent house arrest because they're saying I can either stay home or take an injection that killed my mother. That's what they're doing to me. So I can't ever travel. I can't ever really go do anything in my whole life unless I take an injection that murdered my mother. Okay, so that's how they put me under house arrest. They put the whole world under house arrest just to kind of mask that they're putting me under house arrest because they're sadistic monsters. And that's what they do to people who are good. Good people are the worst thing in the world to them. Okay? So I ask you, please, every chance you get, please get us free of them. They have put themselves in the middle of everything. I can't go see a concert. I can't go do anything. Okay? I can't do anything because they put themselves in the middle of everything. I can't be in a gallery because they put themselves in the middle of me in a gallery. Anything that I could ever possibly want to do in this world, they're standing in the way. And they're saying, not until you start lying like we want you to. They are demanding that I join their lie. And they're saying that I cannot have a career and I cannot leave the house unless I do not support their lie. And I'm asking you, please, to help them not be in the way of every single thing that we want and need. There's something every single person can do to remove them from standing in the way of everything. Okay? This is how they're controlling us. And it's wrong. And we have choices. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening. I hope you sleep well.